Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Welcome to my bookcase. I recently looked at my bookshelf and I had a realization. That realization being, I don't think I like literary fiction. What you need to know basically is this upper shelf. First of all, I don't like the way it looks. I think it looks kind of ugly. But second of all, and arguably worse, this section is my general fiction section and I don't care for it. I have my fantasy and sci-fi over here, my romance / literary books that have a love story, they live over here. And I really like this genre particularly, but I don't know, something about a literary fiction book I think I don't like. I'm not entirely sure why, because most of these I really enjoyed when reading. Like for example, I really liked Exciting Times when I read it. I cried reading 22 Bahn. I thought Kim Ji-young was a really insightful book. Do I care to keep any of these though? So I want to go through and get rid of some books. I haven't done like a proper in-depth unhaul in a while, because usually I will just read the book and then if I like it, I'll make a conscious decision. I'm going to reread this, I really enjoy it, I'm going to keep it. Or I make the conscious decision to just get rid of it right away. I usually don't hold on to a lot of books that I think in the future might have to leave, but I think this is something that maybe kind of needs to get done, I fear. I'm probably not properly in frame right now, but this is about the shelf, okay? First thing I'm going to get rid of, not a literary fiction book, Flawless by Elsie. I've had this for too long. I think I bought this in 2024. I periodically go through phases where I'm like, oh, I'm such a romance reader. I love romance. And then I read a bunch of romance and I realize, oh my God, I actually hate the contemporary romance genre. And this is just one I bought and never got around to. And also, I just recently saw that my local library has the entire series. So if I ever feel drawn to pick the series up, I can. And I don't need to own this. This one, Christmas at the Island Hotel. I got this one a couple of years ago for Christmas. I have made it to page 95, but I really enjoyed those first 95 pages. I had a great time. I just, for some reason, never finished it. So I'm actually going to keep this one. Obviously keeping Magnolia Parks. Okay, Anna Wives. Oh wait, what? Our Wives Under the Sea. This one's a little bit of a tricky one. I really enjoyed this one, but do I think I would ever reread it? Does this have my stamp in it? Because that's the other thing. As I said, usually I think I'm going to keep everything. No, it doesn't. Okay. That's kind of a sign. Because usually once I decide I'm going to keep something, I will stamp it. I probably forgot with this one. I think I might get rid of this. What do you guys think? Again, I did enjoy it, but I don't think I would reread it. I might give this to my roommate. I feel like they would like it. Okay, Call Me By Your Name. For now, it is staying. Beautiful World, Where Are You? Probably my favorite Sally Rooney. Actually, one of my favorite books of 2024 as well. Maybe I should say that. Normal People. I have annotated this. But if we're completely honest with ourselves. But the annotations in this are quite embarrassing. I feel like I was a little too young when I read this. I feel like I would probably enjoy it more now. And it has my stamp in it and everything. I'm keeping this one. Keeping Daisy Jones and the Six. And now we're actually in the LitFic. Die Freundschaft, this one I got for Christmas a couple of years ago from my in-laws and I haven't read it yet, but it sounds really good, so I'm going to keep it. Small things like these I have read and I feel like I'm the only person who didn't love it, and so I feel like I want to reread it at least once to make sure I actually didn't like it and I wasn't just in the wrong headspace. And because it's very short, I think I feel okay doing that. Convenience Store Woman. This copy is quite dirty. Oh, there's a singular tab in here. Oh, I underlined this as well. She's far happier thinking her sister is normal. Even if she has a lot of problems, then she is having an abnormal sister for whom everything is fine. For her, normality, however messy, is far more comprehensible. That's a good quote. No wonder I tapped that. Actually, maybe I don't want to get rid of this. Maybe I actually did really enjoy this. Okay, that quote kind of made me want to keep it. I do know that my roommate has a copy of it. But then again, actually, no, I'm going to keep this. The Union of Synchronized Swimmers by Cristina Sandu. I have never heard anyone talk about this. It's about like an unnamed Soviet country and a group of synchronized swimmers preparing for the Olympics, I think. This one was cool, but have I thought... Actually, I do think about it sometimes. But am I ever going to reread this? Now that I'm looking at it, yeah, maybe. Okay. Oh, this one... Der Himmel über uns by Favel Parrett. I think this is a Tasmanian. This takes place in Tasmania. I think the author is Tasmanian as well. I read this in 2020 and I've been wanting to reread it ever since because I remember like actively disliking this translation. I thought there were like typos in here and grammatical errors, and so because it is translated from English, so I've been meaning to just like read the original. But I think I'm going to get rid of this German copy. The Kite Runner. This one's difficult. I read this book, I think, in 2018. At the time, I wasn't a huge reader. And then I read this, absolutely adored, of course, because it's a fantastic book. And I've been wanting to reread it. I started a reread maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I got, how many pages? 12 pages in, but I was annotating it. So now I feel guilty getting rid of it. I don't think that I would ever reread this, to be honest. Like at the time I really wanted to, but looking at it now, I am very grateful for the moment in time that I read this book, and I think it was like the best possible moment for me to read that book. I don't think I'm ever going to replicate that experience. But it's also a book that was like really important to me. So, okay. Kim Ji-young. I'm not going to reread this. I think I stole this copy from my sister. There's also one, oh, this is annotated. Yeah, I think I stole this copy from my sister, so I'm probably going to ask her if she wants this back. Okay. Then, as I said, I think this author has faced, like, this was her debut novel. It was like huge in Germany. This was one of the biggest books the year that it came out. And there was a sequel, and the author has since published another standalone, and she's just been facing a lot of controversy because she has been very openly ambitious about her writing and about wanting to gain literary acclaim and everything and wanting to win prizes and that sort of thing. And there's been like this whole debate where she says people just don't want to see a woman's success, and other people say her works just aren't worth that sort of acclaim, and it's been a whole controversy. And as I said, I really did enjoy this one. I don't know if the German literary snobs are going to be offended by that, but I really did. I had a grand old time reading this. I cried a lot, and it really emotionally moved me. But I also do see the criticism, and I'm just not sure if I would enjoy it on a reread. I also haven't thought about rereading it since I read this. I think I read this 2 or 3 years ago, so I think I'm gonna let it go. See that it gets to a new home. Does this have my stamp in it? Also no. See, I knew. Subconsciously, I knew. And then we have Exciting Times. Again, oh, this one is difficult. This is about an expat living in Hong Kong. And I am going to be the first to tell you that the whole concept of expat and expat culture, it is very racist, it is very classist, it is very colonialist, and like, you're an immigrant. Okay, just say you're an immigrant. But however, it is still a very unique and niche group of people that experience life in a different country in this way. And that is and it is an experience I find very fascinating. I am really interested in, and that is exactly what this book is about. It's about an Irish woman going to Hong Kong to teach English. It's also queer, I think, and I've seen it criticized a lot for its portrayal of Hong Kong people, and I agree with the criticism that it's definitely one-dimensional, the portrayal of Hong Kongese people. The protagonist doesn't have a very real grasp on the people that she is surrounded with that are from Hong Kong. I get that. However, I do think that is just how a lot of expats, specifically in Asia feel about the natives of their host countries. And I don't think that that is something that, yeah, I know for a fact that many expats in Asia view their host countries very racistly. Is that a word? In a very racist way. And that is what is portrayed in this book. And I think it's just such a unique experience that I'm not sure I want to get rid of this. I also did I annotate this? No, I did not. Ooh, oh, the font is so nice and big though. Is there a stamp in it? Also no stamp. What was I on with these literary books? I think I'm going to keep this. I've talked about it long enough, I am going to keep it. Then we have Mrs. Death, Mrs. Death. I am actually going to keep this one as well because I didn't love this book when I read it, but it is one of the most unique books I have ever read. This is written partly in prose and partly in verse, and it is about the personification of death. Death is a black woman, and she is kind of following / building this relationship with a young man called Wolf, and she's kind of been following Wolf around for a very long time. And yeah, it's a very good book. It's a very interesting book, probably one of the most experimental novels I've ever read, and for that reason alone I'm going to keep it. I love books about death where like death is more than just a thing that happens to people. Did I love Before the Coffee Gets Cold? No. However, I got this as a gift from my mom a couple of years ago, and I just know that she like put a lot of effort into picking this book for me. Let's keep it. Sure. Still, I think, how many books? That's 5 books. You know, I feel like considering that I'd never get rid of books, considering that I usually get rid of books I don't like immediately, I feel like this works. I feel like this is a good stack. Shall we go through the other shelves? Why not? As you might be able to tell, actually probably you aren't, I have a second row of books behind this shelf. Now, do I actually want to get into that? I am not sure. And actually with all of these, as well as the shelf below, they're all my classics. And I am a lot less picky with the classics I keep. First of all, I am a lot less diligent about reading all of them immediately. Whereas with contemporary fiction, I usually try to get to them as soon as I buy them, just because, I don't know. Dr. Zhivago has probably been good for 150 years. It can wait another 2, you know? Also, I bought this specific one I also bought in Shanghai, so it's a little sentimental for me. But let's go through anyway, shall we? Actually, maybe let's start over here. Here we have 3 random fiction books. Can you see those? Here we have 3 random fiction books. I have 1 historical fiction, and then I have 2 mysteries. Mystery is kind of a new discovery for me, so I just haven't built up a collection as big yet. All of Us Murderers I read at the end of last year. This one I'm also not 100% sure if this is something I want to keep long term. Like, I don't think I'm going to be rereading this, to be completely honest. I'm really glad that I read it. I had a good time reading it, but I feel like someone else could get something more out of it. And this one I intentionally didn't stamp because that's how I kind of felt right after finishing it. But I feel like I know someone who would really enjoy this book, so I might try to give that to them, and then if they don't want it, I'm gonna donate it to my local library. So that leaves us with 2 random genre fiction books. It's fine, don't even worry about them. Yeah, as I said, my classics. If you've been around for a long time, you will have seen this book in so many videos, because I keep saying, oh, if I don't read it by X, then I'm going to unhaul it. I've literally said that since 2022. I started annotating it. I got in, how far did I get in? 35 pages. I feel like this is about the first European settlers in today's America and in, I think, Massachusetts it is. And it's about their relationships with the native population and colonialism. I think it also has one of the first depictions of an interracial relationship between a white European settler and a Native American person. So I do think this book is probably cool and historically valuable. However, am I ever going to read this? The thing is, like, if I kept it on my shelf for long enough, I'm sure like maybe in 20 years time I would. But I don't, just because it's there, you know, I don't think in 20 years I'll wake up and be like, oh my God, it's finally time to read Hope Leslie. And I can, like, that's the other thing. If I really want to, I can repurchase this, you know? Like, this text is not going to disappear from the world tomorrow. So maybe it's time. I'm putting it on the stack. I am. Okay, I actually think on the lower shelves there's nothing really to get rid of. I'll get you a little closer. Because down here I have my book series down here, as well as a handful of YA fiction. I either absolutely love these or am very excited to read them. And either way, I don't want to get rid of them. Then we have more series down here. Again, love them, don't want to get rid of them. And then my teeny tiny nonfiction section, which I also feel pretty good not getting rid of anything there. And then these are just miscellaneous books. Okay, and that leaves us with a stack of what, 7 books? Yes, 7 books. That's not too shabby. Okay, let me just quick rundown. We're getting rid of Hope Leslie, or Early Times in Massachusetts by Cathrine Maria Sedgewick. Then we're getting rid of All of Us Murderers. I am hoping to give this to a friend, but maybe to the library. 22 Bahnen by Caroline Wahl. Jiyoung Born 1982. I really did like this one. I don't think I'm going to reread it. Der Himmel über uns. I'm not sure what the English title is. I put it on the screen, but I did like this one. I just think that if I ever were to reread it, I would definitely want to reread it in the original English. Oh God, okay. Then we have Our Wives Under the Sea. Again, I like this one. Don't think I'm ever going to reread it. And last, we have Flawless by Elsie Silver, which I haven't read, but if I ever really, really want to, I can get it from the library and I don't need the physical copy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know, are you like someone who keeps everything? Do you get rid of everything? Do you even own books? And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!